So after working for 4 years as a city letter carrier for the United States Postal Service and having experienced the good, the bad, and the ugly, would I consider becoming a CCA in 2025? Well, the short answer is yes. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. So today I kind of wanted to break down if I personally would become a CCA again in 2025. And I think I would, right? And I know I'm going to get a lot of naysayers like, oh man, especially the young people coming in, like shy away from this career, go to UPS, go to someone else. I don't think so. I think I would do it again. And the reason is the promise at the end of the CCA term. All right, so let's start with understanding the nature of the job, especially for those who are not in the Postal Service yet. Okay, you guys who are contemplating putting in an application, or if you're already in the application process, maybe you're at the academy right now, or maybe you are on the job shadowing, right? So this is a brief understanding of the job. So in most situations, you're going to be outside for a majority of your shift. But let me break it down. Let me break down your typical 8-hour workday. Now, here's a caveat. If you're a CCA, you're most likely going to be working more than 8 hours. More than likely 10 to 12. Okay, but we will get there. Okay, so your first hour in the morning is going to be where you get your work assignment. Okay, what they are doing now with CCAs is a little bit different from when I got hired. Okay, so they're having the CCAs come in at 9 a.m. with the routes already cased for them. So all they're doing is coming in and loading their trucks. But I'm going to explain it as if you are a regular CCA with a hold down. Okay, so your first hour in the morning is going to be where you get your work assignment. You're going to come in, the supervisor is going to say you're on route 1616. Okay, here's the key for your truck. The first thing you would do is go outside to the parking lot, go find that truck, make sure everything's working, the lights, make sure the headlights, taillights, the doors, everything's locking. That vehicle is safe. Okay, the next thing you're going to do is go back inside the office and you are going to start casing your mail. Okay, you're going to see what you got for the day, what advertisement you got, what third bundle you got, how much residual mail you got, what needs to be cased. You're going to put all that mail up. Okay, you're going to pull down that mail when it's time to go after you made sure you do your final calls, you check your hot case, and then you're going to go get your parcels and your spurs. Okay, I recommend to case your spurs before you pull down, especially as a young carrier. You guys don't know yet, but office time is crucial today, and spurs are a caseable item. A spur is it's like the flappy Amazon packages that we get that aren't boxes but aren't huge or small, but you can put them in your mail. Okay, that's what a spur is. And after all that, you're going to load your truck. Okay, that's the first hour of your day. Get your mail ready and load the truck. Your hours 2 to 7. Okay, those 6 hours are going to be comprised of you delivering that mail and those packages. Most routes are rated for 6 hours. Okay, our 8-hour workday is a combination of that first hour that we're in the office, the 6 hours that we're on the street, and then the last hour is going to be that 1 hour worth of breaks that we have. And that's why it's important for us to take our breaks, because you get 2 15s and a 30. And by you not taking your break 1 hour a day, right? And let's just say you have a regular schedule of 5 days, over the course of a year, that's just about over $5,000 you're giving back to the Postal Service just by you not taking your hour break. So don't not take your break. Okay. And then hour 10 and 12, especially for CCAs, and for regulars, we know that's going to be our overtime. That's going to be the part of our day that consists of doing pivots and splits on routes that weren't covered for the day. If you're a CCA, you're probably going to have multiple parts of different routes. So you may have 3 hours on route 1616. You may have 2 hours on route 1617 and 2 hours on route whatever. But the caveat, or the most important part here to understand, is you may be on the road or you may be outside for 10 of those hours and not inside, like I explained that first hour. But you are still entitled to your 1 hour break. So it's important that you take that. So that's the nature of the job. Okay, let's talk about the starting pay in 2025. And I understand that the cost of living in this country is kind of high. But let's not forget, when most of us started, we started at a lower rate of pay than what is being offered today. Okay, so the starting rate today, as of September 16th, 2025, is going to be $20.73 an hour, which comes out to about $43,000 a year, plus or minus a couple dollars. Okay, the starting pay, I think, is entry level, but this is an entry level government job or quasi federal level job that requires not many or not much in the terms of experience, right? So what this job does require us to do or have to be hired is simple. You need to be 18 years old. You need to be a United States citizen. You need to have a recent employment history. You need to be able to pass a background check, a drug check, and a medical assessment. You need to be able to prove that you live where you say you live for those background checks. You need to have a safe driving record, especially if you're going to be a letter carrier. And then you got to be registered with the Selective Service. Okay, that's the only requirements that you need for this job. And they're going to start you at $43,000 a year if you can make the cut. Okay, the terms of CCA employment is being hired for 360 days. Okay, then you get a 5-day break in service, and then you come back for another 360 days. Okay, CCAs are guaranteed overtime. Okay, CCAs are paid just like regulars. Overtime is going to be 1.5 times your pay for anything over 8 hours. Okay, or anything over 40 hours in a week. But you are also guaranteed penalty overtime. I'm going to explain it again later. But penalty overtime is anything over 10 hours. You get paid 2 times your pay. Okay, and that's why a lot of CCAs can make $60,000 in their first year. Okay, because you're working a lot of overtime and you're getting paid penalty overtime for that. Then you're also going to get a night shift differential. Okay, so CCAs are compensated an additional amount for all work before 6 a.m. and all work after 6 p.m. during any service day. So it's $1. Okay, so if you're working after 6:30 and you started at 8 o'clock, after 6:30, you're going to be getting paid 2 times your pay. Plus, for every hour, you're going to get $1 for that hour. Okay. And then the raises under the current contract that we are on, the 2023 to 2026 National Agreement, CCAs will receive the following contractual pay increases. So you guys are going to get 2.3% in November 18th for 2023, which has passed. 2.4% November 16, 2024, which has passed, but this is retroactive. This was that back pay that the CCAs got. Then you guys got a 50-cent wage adjustment on June 4th, 2025. That was this year. And you'll get your last raise of this contract in November, which is 2.5%. So by the time you guys are watching this video, the only thing that would have changed is this little piece of information here, the pay. Because since you are a union bargaining employee, the union, every time the union bargains a new contract, your pay goes up just like ours. But part of being a CCA is this is only temporary. These percentage of wage increases. As a regular, you get a different type of wage increase. It's called a COLA. Okay, but we're not there yet. You know, being a CCA, and the reason why, you know, I would do it is because you get certain protections and guarantees that you don't have in other workforces or private sectors in the parts of the country. So one of the work guarantees that you'll get as a CCA is in larger installations, CCA is going to be guaranteed 4 hours of work, no matter what. If they put you on a schedule and they say you need to come into work tomorrow, and then they say there's no work, you could go back home, contact your shop steward, because you're guaranteed 4 hours. And if they don't have work, they have to pay you. Now, that's in a large installation. In a small installation, which means it has less than 200 hours of seniority, you only guarantee 2 hours of work. Now, if they put you on a schedule or if they bring you in, they're going to find something for you to do. But in the rare situation that they say that there's no work and they want to send you home, they have to pay you. And that's part of being a union employee, part of what the NALC has fought for us. Another guarantee with CCAs, which is similar to a regular employee, a regular full-time employee, is how you guys are determined based off your seniority. Okay, you guys have something called relative standing, and CCAs are accredited with relative standing, and it is determined based on your hire date in that installation. So you and your friend could have got hired on the same day. Okay, say you both got hired on October 16th. Now, in order to break who has more seniority, they're going to figure out who scored higher on the test. Okay, so when it comes time for you to get converted to regular, whoever has the most seniority is going to go first. But if you and someone else in that installation has the same day of seniority, they're going to see who scored higher. Okay, but that list more or less shows you how far away you are from becoming a regular. You can ask any of your shop stewards, like, oh, what number am I on the list? And they should have that list for you. And that list is good if they wanted to fire people as well. If something happened where they had too many CCAs, they're going to use the list backwards. They're going to say, okay, who has the least seniority out of all these CCAs? Because those are the ones we're going to let go first. Okay, so as you become a regular, a lot of things are based off of seniority in the Postal Service. So having that little seniority taste of it in the beginning kind of, gets you prepared for what's going to happen. So far, I mean, yes, I still will become a CCA today in 2025 because some of the benefits. Okay, as a CCA, you don't have too much protection in your first 90 days. You can literally be fired for anything. But if you make it past that 90 days, 90 working days, okay, or 120 calendar days, okay. So if you got how can I explain it? If you got hired on a certain day, then you went to academy, and then you did everything you had to do, but you didn't actually start working in that installation, let's say for another 15 days. Well, in total, 120 days since you've been hired or 90 days you've been working, whatever comes first, you could be protected by our grievance procedure. And that's basically now anything that management disciplines you for, you can have the union come in there, fight for you, see what's going on, and basically protect you. You have to be fired for just cause. The management has to prove that there was a rule, that the rule was equally passed on to everybody, that you're not being targeted. Okay, they can't just fire you because they want to. And the union is very good at winning grievances. So again, that's after 90 days. If you mess up in the first 90 days, even though you're paying dues, and I don't agree with it, you're on your own. As a CCA, you also have the right to a hold down. Okay, so you can hold down a empty route. Okay, an assignment of a route that's being performed by a full-time letter carrier on a daily basis. Okay, so when that route is empty for more than 5 days, like in the situation with my route right now, since I've been out of work, my route has been open for 6 months. Someone is holding it down. Okay, CCAs have to submit that in writing to their supervisors, and they should keep a copy of that paper. Okay, if no other carrier is available to work that day or that route, okay, if there's T6 or whatever, the T6 will get that day. His day will be covered. You will be bumped on the T6's day. So if my off day was Thursday and I got a T6 that covers my route, even if you had that hold down, you won't do it on that day. But if there's another CCA that has more seniority than you, or more relative standing, and they put in that paperwork, they will be granted that hold down before you. And that's just how seniority works. That's a benefit after 60 days of being a CCA. Another benefit is the retirement account. Most CCAs don't know about the retirement account. The NALC, the union, actually has established a retirement savings account, and is offered through the NBA. And after you convert from a CCA into a regular, you can transfer those funds into your TSP. I didn't do it. I should have did it. But in hindsight, everything is so easy after it's so easy to look back and say, I should have did this. And then here comes the benefits of a CCA, right? So you're going to guarantee to convert in 2 years. So the painful experience of being told what to do, on a day-to-day basis by your supervisor, being treated like crap, feel like you're a slave, being thrown out there after you come back from 8 hours and you want to go home, and they tell you got to go back out because you're a CCA and this is what you signed up for, and being out there in the rain and the snow and the tornadoes and being out there after a natural disaster and all the things that regular carriers do and have done for 25 years, but you have to do it just a little bit longer. It's over after 2 years, and the benefits are going to be worth it when you get there. But until you get there, until you become a regular, until these 2 years are up, you got to fight. You got to work like a dog. It's not for the weak at heart, but you do have some benefits, and some of those benefits are you are going to accrue AL. Okay, you are going to get time off. Okay, for every 1 hour, for every 20 hours you work, you're going to get 1 hour of AL. So in a pay period where you work 80 hours, you're going to get 4 hours of AL. Okay. You're going to be offered health insurance as a CCA. The Postal Service is going to pay up to $125 premium for your health insurance. Okay. It's not the best health insurance, but it's something. I think out of pocket, don't quote me, I think I paid like $59 a pay period for the health insurance that the CCA gave me. For the health insurance that the Postal Service gave me as a CCA. Don't forget, you get overtime at 1.5 times your base rate, and you get penalty overtime at 2 hours. Okay, this is unheard of. Okay, anything over 8 hours, you're going to get paid time and a half. And anything over 10 hours, you're going to get paid double time. There's no job in the country that I heard of that's going to pay you $40 something an hour because you worked after 6:30, and you're still going to get a dollar more an hour differential because it's after 6:30. That's amazing. That's why as a CCA, I almost made $70,000. Okay, as a regular, I can make that by working overtime, but as a CCA, I made it. And I would share how that kind of overinflated my lifestyle and everything, because I didn't know as a regular you take a pay cut. But you can make a lot of money as a CCA. That's why I definitely would do it in 2025. And the pay rate went up. You guys are making more than I ever made. You guys are making more than I made in my first 2 years, the starting carrier now. Make it make sense. You also will get OWCP worker compensation if you get hurt. Most CCAs don't know that they qualify for it. They do. If you're a federal employee, you qualify for FICA. Okay. You get 6 paid holidays off. Okay. You get New Year's, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. Okay. You get paid 8 hours if the installation that you work in has at least 200 years of seniority. And you get paid 4 hours if it has less than that. Okay. Paid does not mean off. The only days you will get off are the days that the post office is closed, which is Christmas and I want to say Thanksgiving. But the rest of the ones at the holidays that we're delivering Amazon packages, you're going to be working. The post office only shuts down for 2 of those, like in total, where no CCAs are working. And after, months and months of Amazon Sundays, after months and months of working 12-hour days, okay, having 10 days on without a day off, after all of that is over and you hit the 2-year mark and you get the news that you finally converted as a letter carrier, you have arrived. You have arrived. Now you are guaranteed an 8-hour work day. You don't have to work 8 hours. You don't have to work overtime if you don't want it anymore, unless there's an emergency and they force you. Okay. And now you get to receive the benefits of the career. Okay. The 2 years are up, and this is the end goal. This is why I would do it. This is why in 2025 I would still become a CCA, because the benefits at the end of the road outweigh the pain that I had to do to get here. So the benefits of a full-time letter carrier is going to be your advanced annual leave. Okay, if you have less than 3 years, you're going to get 4 hours for every pay period. If you have 3 to 15 years of service, you're going to get 6 hours for every pay period. If you have 15 years or more, you're going to get 8 hours of AL on every pay period. You're also going to start to accrue sick leave. You're going to get 4 hours of sick leave every pay period. You're also going to get paid for 11 federal holidays now, and they're all off. You don't have to work any holidays unless you want to, you're offered, or it's an emergency and they forced you to. You are now going to be entitled to your three leg stool retirement plan, which is going to be your pension, your social security benefit, and your TSP. The TSP, don't forget, you can roll over your CCA 401k that you have with the union if you took that. Now you're going to be protected by a no layoff clause. You cannot be laid off. As a federal postal service worker with 6 years of service or more, you cannot be laid off, and you are guaranteed 8 hours of work, whether they have work for you or not. If you are on the schedule and you clock in, they have to pay you for 8 hours. You can sit at your case and do absolutely nothing. They got to pay you. And if they don't, call your union. You're also going to get the federal health benefit, which is paid substantially more than the one that they offer the CCA. And the coverages are phenomenal. Some of the benefits, like with the Blue Cross Blue Shield, one day I was just putting things in there to see what they will pay for, and I was putting like brain surgeries and heart surgeries, and after your deductible was like $325. So like if you have a family, especially like something happens with the family or a kid, and they get sick or something, not that we want that to happen, but if an unfortunate event arises and you have these federal benefits, you'll be all right. And they have a FSA plan, they have a HSA plan. I don't really know too much about those things because I don't use them, but if you know how to use them, I heard they could be great in retirement as well. And then you have life insurance up to 5 times your base pay. Okay, you'll get life insurance 1 time your base pay no matter what, because you're a postal worker, but you can choose to pay a little bit more out of your weekly benefit to get a 5X. And that's just to help your family if you were to pass away as you were working. If you stop working or retire, I don't know if that follows you into retirement. Somebody will let me know. But in 2025, that is why I would still consider this job. Is it the best job in the first 2 years of the CCA? Probably not. I would agree with 99% of the people. I believe that as a union, we have to fight more for the rights of the CCA. I personally believe that if they're paying dues on day one, they should have access to the grievance procedure on day one. I do believe that the starting wage is still too low. I believe CCA should start at about $25 an hour. But in order to get there, okay, a lot of work has to be done across the scale for every letter carrier, because the carriers that have been working for 10, 20 years have to be taken care of just as much as the carriers that are starting today. But more importantly, the carriers that have been doing it for 3 to 15 years can't be forgotten. And that's what happened in our last contract. Okay, the people in the beginning got a little bit of help. The people at the end got a little bit of help. And everybody in the middle got screwed. Okay, and as your union president, as your national union president, I would never let that happen. And there's a lot of work that needs to be done, and it will be done in due time. All right, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did like this video, start to look through my channel, because I'm trying to switch up and make more videos geared towards, what it was in the beginning. Because sometimes we forget what it was in the beginning, and we get stuck in the mess of the middle. All right, guys. So until next time, I'll be here and you'll be there. Peace.